Hey everyone, it's Matt from Neewer, and today we're going to talk about getting our GL1 streaming lights to work with one of these cool Elgato stream decks. So thanks for being here. This is the Neewer Academy. All right, so the way this whole thing is going to work is these lights need to be on the Wi-Fi so they can communicate with my computer. Once they're communicating with the computer, we can use our Elgato Stream Deck app, we can use our Neewer Live app to get everything working with our Stream Deck. But the first thing we have to do is turn on our Neewer app on our phone and get those connected to the phone. That's going to let us hook them up to the Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to go into my Neewer app. I'm going to go to Add Device. You'll see them pop up there. Make sure they're turned on. And then I'm just going to check them and say OK. And there they go, they're added. Now, as soon as I've got them in there, I'm just going to go to the first one. I'm going to go up here to the little gear icon, and you can see my device Wi-Fi status. And I'm going to click on that, and now I can go to my network, put the password in, say OK, and then it will connect to my local Wi-Fi. Okay, so that one's connected. I'll go to the other one. I'm going to put my password in there, and that one's connected as well. So now that both of my lights are connected to my Wi-Fi, I can come over to my computer and start using the apps in here to get our Stream Deck on. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so now that our lights are connected to our Neewer app and they're both connected to our Wi-Fi, we can go into our computer to the Neewer Live app and get the lights to communicate with the computer. And it's really simple. We're just going to go down to our Neewer Live app. And if you don't have that installed, we'll just put a link in the description of this video. And you can see as soon as I clicked it, it took a second, but these two lights just popped up. And that's our two lights that are on right now. So I'm just going to go here to check all. And then I can close this window. And you can see here, I have both of my lights are now showing up in my Neewer Live app. And I can use this, you can see here you've got controls. So if we wanted to control it not using our Stream Deck, but using our computer, we can just do that here through Neewer Live. And if I'm looking at my final stream shot here, I'm definitely too cool in my light. So I'm gonna bring that down to match my camera, which is set at 4,000 Kelvin. So there we go. Now that light is too bright right now, but we'll adjust that when we go to our next phase, which is programming our Elgato Stream Deck. All right, so we have our Neewer Live app connected to our lights, and now we just have to go into our Stream Deck app and add all those functions to our physical deck. The first thing I want to show you on this that I think makes things so much easier is inside of Neewer Live, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to change the names of these lights to reflect their positions in front of me. It makes things so much easier. But I can't quite tell which is which, so I'm just going to turn one off. Okay, so I turned that one off. That's the left one. So we're just going to go L. And obviously this one will be R. And that way, when I go into my app, which I'll show you right now, I've got an easy distinction between those two. So we're going to leave that on. We're going to go to our Stream Deck app. So you can see you've got this little grid here in front of you. Each one of the buttons on this grid correspond with one of the buttons on the Stream Deck. So the whole function of this is we're just going to grab these little actions, drop them in, and then we just push that corresponding button and it performs that action. So with our Neewer lights, that means it's going to control the lights. So in order to get that to work with Neewer, we're going to go here to Add New Plugin. We're going to do a quick search for Neewer. And you can see right there is Neewer Live. I'm just going to go ahead and install. And then once that's installed, it's going to add those actions right here to the bottom of our action list. So all we're going to do is just drag these over, drop them on the button, and you can see that when I do that, it adds that same graphic to our Stream Deck. And when it does that, it adds that function to the deck. So right now, this is the on-off action. So I can see that's L, so that's over here on the left. And you have a little space here for title, so if you wanted to write something underneath of it, you can add little text for them. We'll show you that in a sec. And what I can do now that it's over there is if I just push that button, you can see it turned off my light. So that's my light here on my left. You can see here in my streaming frame, and there it goes, back on. Now we can do the same thing over on the other side. By the way, the reason I'm putting them on the sides is I like it when the Stream Deck kind of reflects what's happening physically. So if I have two lights, then I can put one on the left of the deck, one on the right of the deck, and that corresponds to where they are, facing me. So that makes life a lot simpler. So over there, make sure it's my R, and then I can turn that one off, turn the other one off, and that's it. Very, very simple. On, and now everybody's on. So the rest of the actions are just going to do little adjustments to this light. So I can go here to adjust brightness. Now, in order to keep the functions really simple on this, you can only do up or down on one button. So one button is the brightness down, and another button is brightness up. It's like volume up and down. It's one button for each. So I'm gonna make this my brightness down. And if I want to use the title now, it might be a little handy to say B for brightness, and I'll say down. I'll make sure it's L. I'll put it under my left light. And I'll go to, say, minus 10%. And so now, whenever I hit that button, it's going to decrease the light over there on the left 10% down. If I want to bring another button in and say brightness up, I'll do a plus 10, make sure that's my left light. And then now when I hit that button, my brightness will go up, like that. And then I can do the same thing for my right-hand light. So I'll just do this really quick. We'll say brightness up. We'll do a right light plus 10. We'll do a brightness down. We'll make sure it's our right light. We'll do a minus 10. And actually I want them to be like that, down on the left, up on the right. So now I can go over here, and then I can bring my right light down. So that's off. And I think that looks nice right there. Nice and bright. I like streaming light to kind of be, in your face. Sometimes when it's too moody and dramatic, you almost get lost. So I think that having nice full light is good. So there is our brightness adjustment. So we've got an up and down, 10% for each. And the other thing that I can add here is I can do temperature adjustments. And I'll just show you setting those. So I'll do K for Kelvin. I'll say warm. And then I'll do another adjust temperature. And I'll make sure that's my left light. I'll do K for Kelvin, and I'll do cool. And on this one, yeah, we're gonna warm it up 200 Kelvin per click, and over here we'll cool it down. So I'm gonna look here at my streaming cam, and as I push that button cooler and cooler and cooler, you can see that light start to go very blue on the side of my face. If I push it the other direction, it goes warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. Allowing us to have these changes means that when our environment changes, then we can really do lighting adjustments on the fly. So if you've got a window open, you've got cool daylight coming in, and you notice in your screen that you're a little warm, you just hit the buttons and you can cool your light down. The same thing could happen if you're streaming at night. Maybe you've got a table lamp on the table and you're looking very warm. Maybe your light's very cool, that light in the room is warm. You can just hit these buttons and warm your light up to match those. So you've got a lot of really easy functions on this guy. You can also do set numbers. So you could just drop this in and say 50% power, drop another one in that says, 5,000 degrees Kelvin, whatever, and then that will just set those lights to exactly where you like them. So you can see it's really, really easy to customize. It's very easy to play with. So instead of going through all of this, I think that's kind of a good, cursory look at everything. So now you can jump in, you guys can do it. It's super simple and fun. So give it a shot, and thanks so much for watching.